Perfect. Hi guys, and welcome back to Airgun Evolution. In this video, I want to give you some really solid pro tips on filming through your scope. But not this scope, because this thing is absolutely ridiculous. 10 to 40 power? What was I thinking? Alright guys, in the first video where I showed you how to set up the scope cam on the gun, I didn't really realize it at the time, but I kind of showed you the reverse order of how you set it up, only because I already have all my guns set up. I show you a gun that has a scope already mounted on it, and then I put the camera on the mount and I move the camera around until it gets in the proper position to see clearly through the scope. And the only way I was able to do that is because I already had the gun set up previously. If you're setting the gun up for the very first time, what you want to do is get behind the gun, get your camera so it's really comfortable to see. You know, it's not right here, right touching your nose, it's not halfway down the gun, but where it's a real nice comfortable distance where you can just look at it with no problem whatsoever. Then what you want to do is move your scope in and out, and get your scope the proper position away from the camera. And by doing it that way, you're setting everything up properly. You know, you have the right distance between your face and the camera, and then the right distance between the camera and the scope to do it. I didn't realize it when I was doing it the first time, but that's how it should be. That's the order of how it should be set up. But after I have everything set up, how I remember where they go is I count the number of picatinny slots. I can see I've got 1, 2, and just the littlest bit of a third. And what I'll often do is I'll just take a quick photo of it on my cell phone. If I need to remember where did I need this to go on this gun, just look at your phone, 3 slots in, you're good to go. Now get ready, because here come 2 of the very best pro tips I could possibly give you for filming through your scope. Tip number 1, take anti-shake off your camera. It sounds counterintuitive, but take it off, and I will show you why. Go into your camera's menu setting and go and find anti-shake, and you can see I have mine off already. So you might think anti-shake's a good thing because it's going to help smooth out your film and make it look really nice, but you get the exact opposite effect when you're filming through your scope. Your reticle seems to float around, so make sure to turn it off, and I will give you a demonstration of it on and off right now. And now I have anti-shake on. See how the crosshairs are moving around the screen and the whole thing moves? That is because anti-shake's on and the camera's trying to compensate for all the bumping and moving around. This is really disorienting when you're watching it as a viewer, so take anti-shake off. And now here's anti-shake off, and the crosshairs are staying rock solid, pinned right in the center of the screen. This makes for a lot better video. See, nothing I can do will make it wiggle. Here comes pro tip number 2, and it is the very best tip I can give you. Put on manual focus. I'll show you why. So probably like everybody else that's done some scope cam filming and wanted to learn how to do it, you've gone to the source. I went over and I watched Ted from Ted's Holdover, and his suggestion was to leave your camera in autofocus mode and point it at the ground and just half press this button to get it to focus on the crosshairs. And that does work, but the problem is they can very easily go back out of focus. So I'm going to show you how to put your camera in manual focus mode. This is a Casio XLM camera, and I guarantee you all of them have the same menu settings, but if you don't have this type of camera, you might just have to play around in your settings just to find it. But this is how you get there. I set my manual focus is with this wheel right here. I probably should press record on my phone so you guys can see what I'm doing, huh? In order to set your camera up for manual focus, you're going to want to go up here to your selector wheel. Not all of these options up here will allow you to go into manual focus. This one right here will, the little red square, and it's most likely already what you guys have been using. I tend to jump around and pick and choose different options, but to get to manual focus, turn your camera on, press your menu button down here. Make sure that up at the top you have REC highlighted. Scroll down to where it says focus. You can see right now it's in autofocus. So select it, go all the way down to manual focus, select it again, and now you're in manual focus mode. Pressing left and right on this wheel will start to adjust your focus, and you can see the little slider bar at the bottom moving back and forth, left and right. That is actually an indicator that your focus is being adjusted. Now, when you have it in manual focus mode, every time the camera shuts off and turns back on, you're going to have to refocus on your crosshairs, but it's about a second process. You just hit your button right here, zzz, focuses, and you're good for your shot. What I like to do is I like to set up my camera so it goes into the longest sleep mode it has possible. So every 2 minutes my screen will go off, every 10 minutes the camera will shut off. So once every 10 minutes I just press a button just to keep it in that sleep mode, and then I'm good for a long time. You can see my camera's in manual focus right there in the corner, and that the crosshairs are really blurry. Now to get them to get nice and focused, I press my button right here on the side, and you see how quick it goes. And bam, they're pin sharp. Now what you see right there when you're focusing in is a zoomed in version of the reticle to help you see when it is nice and sharp and in focus. Now no matter what I do to the gun, no matter how I move it, no matter what I aim at, the reticle is going to be nice and crisp on video. I have the camera in autofocus right now, and this is the technique where you hold the shutter button down halfway to get the camera to focus on the crosshairs before you start recording. Now watch what happens when I start moving it around. You're going to see the crosshairs get a little fuzzy when they go from light to dark. So here we'll go to dark right now, and you see how they get a little fuzzy. They get out of focus, and now back to light. Now they're getting a little softer, and we're starting to lose them right there in all the trees and the branches. We'll go back to dark, now back to the tree branches, and you've pretty much lost your crosshairs at that point. Now I've got the gun in manual focus, and this is what I just showed you how to do. So now we're going to go light to dark, back to light, back to dark, back to light, back to dark, back to light, and the tree branches, back to dark, back to light, and we'll play in the tree branches for a little bit more. Go dark again, light again, dark again, light again, down in the grass, back to the tree branches, and as you can see, the crosshair is still pin sharp. So you want to start scope camming, but what camera do you want to get? I get asked this question a lot. I have a Casio XLM EXILIM EXZR200. Casio XLM EXZR200. This is basically like the second version or model of this camera ever made, I guess. I don't know. They make like a 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and it's all the way up into like the 3600s now. The only real difference that I can tell between the XLM 100, or in my case 200, all the way up to the 3600 models is that somewhere around model number 1500-ish, the back LCD screen got the ability to tilt. I believe it has the ability to tilt in both directions. If you were to ask me which model Casio XLM camera to get, I would say get one with a tilting screen. If you have the gun like in a windowsill and you're taking a shot at something high or even a shot at something low, if you were to have one without the tilting screen, you gotta get your head all the way down behind that camera to see what's going on. That might even involve lying on the floor, and I go to some pretty gross places, so I'm not getting on the floor. But with that tilting screen ability, you can have your gun down but tilt the screen up, and now you're above looking down shooting up. Now you can get these cameras used on eBay. I think I paid like maybe $120, $130 for mine, and depending on what model you get, you can probably get them all the way from like $100 now up to like $300 maybe for like the newest model. They come in a few different colors like red, white, and black. And when I have this set up on the gun, I have it so the scope cap flips open this way to kind of hide this white part. And I know there are a lot of other cameras out there that are used for scope camming. I'm not familiar with all of them, so there are a lot of little tips that I picked up along the way. I'm just gonna go through them as quick as I can. Camera mounting bolts. I like to carry at least 4 of these on me. Why? Because there was that one time when I went out and I didn't have one and I was completely screwed. They're small, they're lightweight, it doesn't hurt to have a few of them on you, because if you don't have this, you're basically out of the game for the day. One of the other cool things I found to help make the mounts is this base here. And I don't have one, but I'm gonna put a picture of it up on the screen. This base already has 2 countersunk holes drilled through, and the top comes off. So this could cut down your workload making these bases. And like I said, I don't have one of these, but I'm sure it'll work. These little cases right here. I get these cases at the dollar store. They come in purple and red. They have a little rubber seal around them, and when you put them on, they actually latch up and hold everything nice and tight. Maybe they're even a little waterproof. I don't know, they did come from the dollar store, but they might be a little waterproof. Now I have one of these little cases that's dedicated to my camera gear. I have batteries in it, and that's what you're gonna want too. You're gonna want a few extra batteries for your camera gear. I have a spare SD card in its own little container there, because sometimes when you're in the field, your SD card will fail. And to keep going, you need to pop that one in. I've had to do that one time. I have a quarter and a penny in here, and these come in really handy when you need to tighten down your scope mounts. You can just stick them in, turn them around. A lot smaller and easier than carrying an actual screwdriver. So I carry all the extra little screws I have to mount my camera to my scope mount, and I carry a lens cleaning cloth. Comes in handy if I need it for my camera or my scope. Everything fits in there real nice. Seals right up. The next thing is some protective gear for your cameras. This is what I have for my scope cam. Nice hard shell. This is my main camera one. And to protect the LCD screens on my cameras, I go and I get like the polycarbonate or tempered glass screen protectors. You just put your camera model in and you're definitely gonna find one. They make them for all the cameras. So I've also seen online where some people were having an issue with sunlight getting between their camera and the scope and causing an issue, like whiting out the picture and ruining their video. So I've come up with a solution to this too. Now they don't sell this adapter commercially, but if you're really interested, you can email me and I'll sell these adapters for about $19.99 a piece. So you just put it on there, and there you go. Now you can hold that on with some rubber bands, not sold in the kit, and you don't have to worry about light ruining your shot anymore. $19.99. My only problem now is getting the toilet paper back on the roll. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it really helpful and some really good useful tips in it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys are doing. If you're making these, if you're filming videos, I'd love to watch them. But until next time guys, I'll see you later.